A 16-year-old pregnant girl in Florida will not be able to get an abortion because a court has decided that she is not sufficiently mature enough to decide for herself whether it's the right decision to carry the fetus to term or to get an abortion. This is absolute madness. The girl's name is not being provided as she is under 18 and they want to protect her identity. But Florida has a new 15-week abortion ban, the constitutionality of which is being questioned, but it's staying in place for now at least. The state brought that threshold down from the 24 weeks back a couple months ago. And there is a state law in Florida that requires minors to get parental consent for an abortion, which I would argue should not be necessary because even though you're a minor, it's still your body after all. It's still going to be a decision that involves you for the next 18 years plus. So it seems like they only had this rule in place as a way to embarrass the girl who becomes pregnant, to have her go to her parents and explain the situation that she's in and try to get their approval. But as it pertains to this story, the girl in question could not get her parental consent because she is parentless and she lives with a relative and has an appointed guardian. But that wasn't good enough for a circuit court judge who denied the parental consent waiver, and a 3-judge panel upheld the decision. A statement from the appeals court said, "The appellant had not established by clear and convincing evidence that she was sufficiently mature to decide whether to terminate her pregnancy." So per the state of Florida, the girl is not mature enough to decide whether an abortion makes sense for her, yet she is somehow mature enough to carry a baby to term, give birth, and raise it to adulthood. How does that make any sense at all? Something tells me that being a parent requires a lot more maturity than deciding whether a medical procedure for someone in your position makes sense for you. So this is just the latest example of Republican barbarity on the topic. Like in the lead up to Roe versus Wade getting overturned, when we could kind of see the writing on the wall because of Trump's Supreme Court justices, and then when the draft opinion was leaked, and then when it was made official back in June, all along the right wing assured the rest of the country that they were going to be responsible on this abortion issue if Roe got overturned, that they would not be completely draconian in how they addressed the matter. And they would say things like, oh, well, we'll have exceptions for rape. Well, now that's being put into question because they realized how logistically challenging that would be, because it could easily lead to an increase in false rape accusations. Then they'd say things like, oh, well, there'll be exceptions for life of the mother. When the life of the mother is put at risk, you'll be able to get an abortion in that instance. But now they're realizing that you can't always assess risk levels in this way, where it's like 100% that the mother's going to survive if she has the child, or 100% chance that she's going to die if she has the child. Like usually it's in this gray area where you don't know with any certainty what's going to happen. So who's going to decide whether or not you fit under that exception for life of the mother? And they also used to say, oh, well, if Roe versus Wade gets overturned, then you're going to be able to travel to a different state to get an abortion if it's illegal in your state. Now we're starting to see states try to criminalize that very practice as well. So the reality has been a lot more draconian than many of us could have even imagined. And if there's any silver lining at all in the horrors that these countless women have had to deal with across the country, including in this story, it's that maybe it will incentivize people to go out and vote in the fall. Maybe Democrats will be able to ultimately hold on to the House of Representatives. Maybe they'll be able to pick up a couple of seats in the Senate so that we can move to eliminate the filibuster and work to codify Roe versus Wade into law. That has to be the path forward, because we absolutely cannot trust Republicans with control over this abortion issue. And sadly, we're probably going to see plenty more cases like this one out of Florida. It's absolutely sickening.